What's going on? All right, we're live. Should be able to hear me, should be able to hear some nice Kutumba instrumental from Nepal. Maybe Sarangi music, some calming Sarangi music. Hopefully my levels are all okay. I think everything's coming in clear. How's everybody doing? So today we got travel guide. We have the ultimate travel guide to Kathmandu. For those who are no doubt fans of the channel, who have subscribed because of the Nepal videos and are going to head to Nepal eventually. You're going to have to go through Kathmandu, so that's what we're going to go over today, is all of the fun stuff you can do in Kathmandu, since you have to go through Kathmandu. To begin, though, we're going to just stretch our geography muscles and play a couple games. I'm bringing you the content with some games here. Just gonna check the audio. To begin, though. Oh, perfect. Okay, so we'll switch over to this. And this is a new game. So the point of this game is to try and get from one country to the other by knowing your geography and trying to name the shortest amount of countries from one country to another. So we're in Africa, Ghana and Gabon. I already know we need Togo and Togo. There's another skinny one right next to it. We need Nigeria as well. What is this one? Togo. We also need Cameroon. Oh, I just need the one. Togo, Ghana, Togo, and oh no. It's not Senegal. Togo. Actually, I wonder if I could go around it. Because I think Burkina Faso is right above... Bikini Faso is right above Togo. What is that one country, though? Ghana, Togo... Ooh. Let me see if I can go around it. Niger is up here. And I think Burkina Faso is there. Oh, no. What is it? Togo and Togo. already kind of lost. I can't remember that one. Okay. Not great. I guess it's okay. It's not perfect. Okay. We have one more. We're going to do today's Worldle. This is... Is it Switzerland? I think this is Switzerland. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Okay. Can you guess the 5 border countries of Switzerland? Yes. We have Austria, France, Germany, Italy, and this last one is going to be is it Liechtenstein? I think it's Liechtenstein. It's either Luxembourg or Liechtenstein. I think it's Liechtenstein. If I can spell it right. How do you spell it? How do you spell Lichten? Oh. No. L-E-I? Oh, there it is. Is that right, though? Switzerland. Oh, got it. Okay, capital. Is it Geneva? No. I don't know European capitals. Switzerland? I don't know. I feel like going through this list is cheating. I think I actually just saw it. It's Zurich, right? No. Okay. I don't know what it is then. I have no idea. I do feel like this is cheating. I don't really want to do this, but I don't know. What is it? I have Nepal all set up on the Google Maps, but what is the capital? Bern? Is it Bern? Okay. Duh. Swiss Army knife. Go see. Got it. And they use Swiss franc? Swiss shilling? Oh, it's a franc. I don't know kilometers. That? Okay, whatever. Okay. So, there's our geography for the day. Got this map, Travel-y, and then we had to guess everything about Switzerland. Okay, moving on to the good stuff. What people are here for. So, let me get my notes up. Okay. So today we are gonna go over everything start to finish when you arrive in Kathmandu, and everything that's possible to do in Kathmandu. And we're gonna start with the airport. So the nice thing about Nepal's airport, which is this here, Tribhuvan International Airport, is that unlike in some other major Asian cities, I think the one that really comes to mind is Kuala Lumpur. The airport is smack dab in the middle of the city, essentially. So the two geographical things to understand about Kathmandu is that the first is there is a road that encircles basically the most populous part of the city. This is called Ring Road. You can see it here. And although the path isn't super clear, it wraps itself all the way around, up by the airport, off. It's basically this major road running around Kathmandu. That's the first landmark to understand. The second thing geographically to understand about Kathmandu is that you have the ring road that encircles the most populous part of the city, or the densest part of the city, and then outside of Ring Road, you have sort of the foothills that surround Kathmandu that kind of make it famous as a city in the mountains. The airport is right in the middle of the city. It's right on it hugs Ring Road right here. And so the nice thing about Kathmandu is the area of the city that you're going to be spending the most time in actually is super close to the airport. It's very easy to get around, and it's very, relatively speaking, especially other major Asian cities, it's very small. The amount of space here is very small, so it's easy to get around. It's quick to get around, and that's just one advantage to going to Nepal and having to stay in Kathmandu. So the airport hugs Ring Road, and the airport actually went through a big renovation recently. For a long time, the terminal was pretty scuffed. It was very confusing and hard to get around, kind of hard to understand where to go, and it was a bit of a mess. But then, I think right after COVID, or during COVID, they renovated the whole thing, or most of the main terminal. So now, it's pretty easy to get around. It's all very new. It looks nice, and it's easy to understand. So when you enter into the terminal from the plane, you get off, whatever, and the first thing you're going to notice is that, or the first piece of research that you might have done when thinking about going to Kathmandu, is what sort of visa do you need? And the nice thing about Nepal, the easy thing that they've done, because they know that a lot of people are coming to hike and for tourism, is that they've made visa on arrival. So the visa on arrival fees, you have 3 options for tourism visas. You have a 15-day, a 30-day, and a 90-day. And they are respectively $30, $50, and $125. So most people coming to Nepal are probably going to take the 30-day option. Most of the treks, most of the things that people are coming for, especially if you're doing Everest or Annapurna, require that you're there for at least like a 30-day period or somewhere around there. So it's that's probably going to be the visa you're going with. Now, one thing that I know people have had trouble with when they get to the airport is that they don't know what to pay in. So at least the way it was the last time we were there, when you enter into the terminal before immigration and after you get off the plane, there's a counter that allows you to exchange USD for Nepali rupees to pay for your visa. I don't remember if this has changed or not, because we were there in 2022, but I vaguely remember still needing to do this. My best piece of advice is to get USD before you get to Nepal, because I've seen people time and time again, whenever we're in the terminal for Nepal, they are waiting in line, because these lines are long. They're waiting in line at the exchange counter. They have their whatever, British pounds or euros ready to go, the equivalent of $30 or $50. And then they get turned around and are told to use one of the ATMs that are available to take out Nepali rupees. So you have two options. They will take Nepali rupees, which you can access from an ATM that's there, or you can bring US dollars and they will exchange those US dollars for your visa, but it has to be US dollars. One nice thing that has happened even prior to the renovation is that they have a prepaid taxi service at the airport. So it used to be that you needed to kind of haggle and find your own taxi to your hotel or whatever. That's not the case anymore. These days, there is a counter that you can just tell the name of your hotel to and get a fixed rate price that will take you directly to that hotel. And speaking of hotels, let's move into hotels. So we're going to talk about basically two options that you have for hotels. There is, let me just say this, there are tons and tons of hotels in Kathmandu. And most of them are located around here. This is Thamel. And if you were to zoom in, most of these buildings are hotels. They're all hotels for the most part. And these are sort of the, I'll say, backpacker tier hotels, where you have options. You have a ton of options for staying in Thamel, because this is the most popular tourist area, and because of that you have a lot of competition with these small backpacker hotels, and they're all relatively cheap. So if we just click on a random one, if we're like Karma Hotel, Nepal, $14 a night. Make sure we can see this. I don't know how accurate these pictures are. That's probably pretty accurate. That's probably pretty accurate. So this seems like a decent hotel, especially for Kathmandu. $14 a night. Probably has breakfast included. Possibly. But yeah, this is what gets you. This is what $14 gets you in Kathmandu. We can click on another random one. Himalayan house. This one's $23. Probably about the same tier of room. Yeah. So that's option one. Any of these hotels are most likely fine. That's option one. Option two is to go a little bit more luxury. So say you first get to Nepal and you need a little help getting around and getting to where you need to go. All of these hotels will also do that. They'll take care of a lot of the back and forth between, especially if you're flying anywhere within Nepal, they'll get you the tickets you need. All of that will be taken care of as long as you ask for it in most of these hotels. Either they'll do it or they know somebody who will do it. So say you first get to Nepal, you get dropped off in Thamel, and you might not have even booked before coming. I know that that's something I've done before, and you just go into Thamel and you find a spot to stay, pay between $14 and $30 for a night, you're good to go. So say you do that, you go on your trek, you come back, and you're beaten up. You've just done a 28-day trek to the Three Passes, Everest region, and you want something a little bit more luxury for your last night or two. That's where these other hotels that I'm about to recommend come in. So there is a Radisson in Kathmandu. This is pretty nice. This is decent. Anything up, so if we're looking at this map, so the airport is here, anywhere north Kathmandu inside Ring Road. So we're talking Lazimpat, Samakusi, what is this area? Narayan Gopal Chowk. This is sort of the luxury hotel neighborhood. And I believe the reason for that might be that the U.S. Embassy is close. The U.S. Embassy is on this road, as well as I believe the Australian Embassy is somewhere up in here. The Australian Embassy is somewhere. It's somewhere in here. So you have all these people, Saudi Arabia. Actually, a lot of the embassies. I shouldn't have just said the U.S. Embassy. The Japanese Embassy is up here also somewhere. Yeah, so this is a pretty popular spot for, you get a lot of foreign nationals coming here. And for that reason, you have, I think, the best hospital in Kathmandu is here, and you get some of the nicest hotels. One that comes to mind also, the Shangri-La Hotel in Kathmandu. This is supposed to be excellent. I've never stayed here. That's a luxury hotel. Other options for luxury stays, if it's difficult to get to these ones. These ones are a little more difficult to get to. So the first one that comes to mind is the Salti Hotel, which is right here. This is one of the nicest hotels in Kathmandu. And then recently a Hyatt Place popped up right near this as well. So this is a brand new building, and this one is also supposed to be pretty nice. The last one I'll recommend, my personal favorite, just because it's got all the personality of old Nepal, old Kathmandu. It's a little farther out, but it's close to sort of a touristy area that we'll be talking about later, is the Hyatt Regency. Where is it? There it is. You can already tell. So this driveway going in, all of these grounds, is the Hyatt Regency. They've done a fantastic job turning this building into what looks like an old, I want to say, Rana era hotel. and grounds. Yeah, I mean, look at this. This is all part of the hotel's architecture. I love it. And you get to look out on Bauda, which is something we'll talk about later. So that's what we have for options for hotels. My recommendation, you probably don't even have to book a hotel. I know a lot of people feel more secure when they do. As long as you get a ride to Thamel, you can probably find something, you will be able to find something that evening or whenever you get in. The only time I would recommend maybe booking beforehand is if you are coming in super late and you don't want to search for anything, you kind of want to just get to your place and get to bed. That's what I'd recommend. Okay. What do we have? Ooh, hey Raj. No worries. Okay. Next we're going to go over activities in the outside of Ring Road. Stuff to do outside of Ring Road. Starting with the north, or I guess to start off, it's likely that you will have probably around 2 to 3 days. If you're trekking in Nepal, you're probably going to have 2 or 3 days total time in Kathmandu. Probably 1 or 2 days at the start of your trip and then 1 day at the end. And it all depends on where you're trekking and how far away you're going. So for example, if you're going up to Lamtang, it's very close. You may finish it quicker than you thought and get back to Kathmandu. And in that case, I would recommend doing something like one of these things that I'm about to recommend, because there's a lot of really pretty places to see within Kathmandu, but Kathmandu itself can be pretty overwhelming. And so if you want to just get out of the city and do one of these activities, then that's what I would recommend. But let's start off. All of these are going to be more nature-oriented and less culture-oriented. So starting off with the Shivapuri Nagarkot National Park. This is at the north end of Kathmandu. It encompasses this whole area. As has been discussed before on this channel, and through questions from viewers, you do not need, despite this being a national park and despite the new rules that came into effect this year, you do not need any sort of permit to enter into this national park. So north of Kathmandu, you just follow this road out. Connects out of Ring Road. This is, I can't remember what choke this is. Samakushi choke bus stop. Follow this. This is actually one of the routes to Lamtang, but it takes you through Shivapuri Nagarkot National Park. And so you can see already there's like waterfalls. There are hiking trails that you can go on. And the nice thing about these, so as you can see, you have all of these homestays, these organic farms. Well, they call them organic farms. It's they're just kind of like little resorts, little hotels that you can stay in. And I think they market themselves as ecotourism because they're still within the national park boundaries. So if we just look at like one of these, they're cute, they're like quaint and yeah, just kind of like a fun experience. We've been to one of these. I don't remember which one, but that's a 3D render. All of these are 3D renders. Maybe this one hasn't been built yet. I'm not sure. But yeah, you can see they're quirky and quaint. Golden retrievers. But yeah, these all pop up on this side of the Shivapuri National Park because on a clear day you can see all of these Himal back here. So if you're looking for something a little bit more relaxing to check out, then I would recommend these. You can take a motorcycle up there. You can also begin a trek through this national park because there are trails through here. And specifically, it meets up with an area we'll talk about later. Or right now. I guess that's next on my list. So, right outside Kathmandu, you have these areas where you can see the Himal. Because Kathmandu is sort of in a valley, depending on where you are in Kathmandu, you can see the mountains most days, or some days. But if you just go slightly outside of the valley, you can see further, and you can see more mountain ranges, more Himal. So, let's see. So this is one area that you can do it on. There's one more area that's more famous called Nagarkot, and that is this area here. I don't know if Nagarkot will come up. Where is it? Oh. Okay, it is. It's less further out than I thought. So like Shivapuri, you have all of these resorts here. Some of these are really nice. I think, is it this one? This one is, yes. Okay, so we have not stayed here, but we came here for breakfast, I think, one day. But as you can see, it just looks out, well, this is not a great day for it. It looks out north, and you can just see, usually you can just see the Himalayas here. If you have the time, I would recommend coming here. I would recommend Nagarkot if you want just kind of one view of the mountains. Yeah, you can take a bus out here, you can rent a motorcycle and take it out here, but Nagarkot is pretty famous for that view. It looks out east, and I think famously from Nagarkot you can usually see Mount Everest. It's just a little speck, but you can still see it. So I would recommend Nagarkot. We've been, oh man, I don't even know how many times I've gone to Nagarkot, probably 3 or 4 different times. You can find plenty, again, of cheap hotels. There are so many hotels. Some are better than others, obviously. But you can find a cheap one. You can get breakfast somewhere in here. Yeah, this sort of circle area here is where you want to go. Okay, so we have 2 national parks that you can one national park and 2 sort of viewpoints that you can check out. Third one I've not been to, but I can recommend, because I know people have done it, is the Chandragiri Hills cable car. So this is like Chandragiri here. There it is. That's the official town. But there are hills that are here, and they recently installed, there it is, the cable car. So this cable car runs from Chandragiri to one of these, I don't know what the name of this hill is, but it runs all the way up here, and it gives you a total overlook of Kathmandu. And obviously, like on the day that this photo was taken, you can see clearly all of the Himalayas from, and the city view. So you get all of the city view, you get the Himalayas. It's pretty sweet. And then you get a mandir, or a temple, at the top you can check out. But yeah, pretty amazing views from this thing. Famous Kathmandu foothills, all the way up into the Himalayas. Let's see. Okay, last recommendation for the foothills, or the area outside, sort of the nature areas outside Ring Road. Actually, I'll throw in two. So one is a little more difficult to get to. This is called Pharping, Nepal, and famous for this giant Buddha statue that's there, and a monastery that's next to it. So if you want to see a giant Buddha statue, that is out there. It takes about, I'd say, I don't know, an hour, 45 minutes to get out there. If it's worth it to see a giant Buddha statue, then I would go for it. This whole village is actually a Newari village, so you can get a lot of the Newari food that we're going to talk about later. And yeah, there's just kind of a lot to do, a lot to explore in this area. Okay. Back to my notes. Let's see. Okay. So moving within the city limits, but still outside of Ring Road, we're going to start with, actually, you know what? Before we start, I am going to use the bathroom. You guys can watch this while I'm away.
म तपाईहरुलाई आज एउटा शहरको कथा सुनाउँछु। धेरै समय अगाडि पूर्वमा सेउती खोला अनि पश्चिममा सरदु खोलाको बीचमा एउटा ठुलो बाक्लो जंगल थियो। त्यो जंगलमा चाहिँ छेउछाउको स्थानीय पहाडदेखि मान्छेहरू आरा लिएर काठ काट्न आउनुहुन्थ्यो। त्यही क्रम बढ्दै जाँदा बिस्तारै जंगल मासिएर यहाँ चाहिँ एउटा बस्ती बस्न पुग्यो। त्यही बस्ती चाहिँ कालान्तरमा नेपालकै चर्चित शहरहरूमध्ये एक हुन पुग्यो। कुनै बेला लाहुरेको शहर, कुनै बेला फैशनेबल शहर, कुनै बेला एकदम व्यवस्थित सफा सुग्घर शहर, सचेत नागरिकहरूको शहर, विभिन्न नामले यो शहरलाई चिनिन्छ। पूर्वाञ्चलको सबैभन्दा चर्चित शहर, वेलकम टु धरान।
धरान भनेको चाहिँ एउटा कस्तो सहर हो यो भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ जियोग्राफिकल्ली पहाडी भेगको फेदमा छ। त्यस्तो मधेस पनि होइन, एकदम लेक पनि होइन, बीचमा छ। यहाँनेर चाहिँ अब विभिन्न जात जातिको मिलेर चाहिँ बसोबास भएको एउटा अत्यन्तै पुरानो सहर हो। कल्चरल्ली यो चाहिँ कलरफुल छ र यो एकदम राम्रो सहर हो। सबै धरानवासीले त्यतिकै योगदान गर्नुभएको छ यो धरान बनाउनुलाई।
11औं नेवा च्यारिटी धरान रनमा सहभागी हुने निम्तो।
This is one of my favorite channels, Gumante. Unfortunately, it's all in Nepali. Well, unfortunately isn't quite the right word, but yeah, it's a little bit difficult to understand if if you don't speak Nepali. We're 40 minutes in, just letting everybody know. Like the stream, it helps out the channel, costs nothing. Give the stream a thumbs up, please, and we will continue. All right. Now, back to the maps and my notes. Okay. All right, so moving to the cities outside, the little cities outside of Kathmandu. So the way to understand Kathmandu, again, it's a major city. It probably has somewhere between 3 and 5 million people living here. And like other major cities, like Tokyo, like New York, it's not. It's sort of made up of smaller cities within it. So you can kind of see the bigger names: Lalitpur, uh, Bhaktapur, Kirtipur. So it has all these kind of like mini cities that make up the whole of Kathmandu. And we're going to start with a really cool, really cool city called Kirtipur. Kirtipur visually, on approach, is stunning. It sits on a small hill within the Kathmandu Valley. And so on approach, the way to get to Kirtipur is you go to this southwest corner of Ring Road, and then it's outside along this road. But on approach to Kirtipur, it's very cool because you have all these buildings that are built up. Actually, it's the thumbnail for this stream was Kirtipur. Yeah, so you get this visual coming in where all the houses are kind of, it looks like they're stacked all on top of each other. But it's just, as the hill goes up and recedes, the buildings are sort of terraced like that. So you get this really cool look so that's a better representation of what is actually happening in Kirtipur. So Kirtipur, very famous Newari, once again Newari, like village or city. And as a result of that, you have all of these Newari restaurants. And we're going to talk more about Newari restaurants in a little bit, or specifically the food. But just to understand Newari people in general, so they're their own group of people within Nepal, especially within Kathmandu. And they have their own culture, their own food, their own like clothing and traditions, their own language, their own written language that is sort of based on the Sanskrit language. And yeah, it's just super interesting. And within Kathmandu, you get these pockets of these people. And so you get like all this really awesome food, and it's just really cool. And Kirtipur is one of those places where you have a concentration of Newar people. So let's go over some of the restaurants that we can have, or some of the restaurants that we can experience in Kirtipur. Just give me a minute. Okay. Kirtipur. So the two big ones that we're going to talk about are Newa Lahana and Sasatwa, or Sasa da Newa. Where's Newa Lahana? Here it is. So this is an old restaurant, and they serve Newari food that is super good. And this is sort of the old traditional Newari restaurant. You sit on these mats and pillows, or they serve the food on these mats. You sit on these pillows. They have traditional alcohol. They have all the traditional food. They have the smashed rice flakes. I can't remember what these are called. Something what is it called? Choila. Choila? I can't remember if it's choila. But this is super good, especially when served with super spicy meat. And everything is spicy with Newari food. You have chang, which is an alcohol. This like egg tortilla thing with spicy stuff underneath. This is super good. This is all Newari food. Newari food is all super good. The only thing about this restaurant in particular is that it's basically a bunch of Newari amas that started a restaurant, and they cook everything. They but it's like straight out of their kitchen, which is cool. It's definitely an experience. If you want something a little more, what's the word? If you want something a little more built up, I guess, taking that concept and making something a little more friendly to the public, because this one you'll have like cats running around in the kitchen and stuff like that. I don't care, but some people might. You have the more built up version, which is over here, Sasa Trois, or Sasa de Newa. I think these are one and the same, actually. So this one they've either taken and repurposed these old buildings or built this area to look exactly like an old Nepal village or an old Newari settlement. I don't know if these are original buildings. They might be, but I'm not sure. As you can see, they have like live music here some nights. They have, so these little areas on the left and right here, that's where the food is cooked. As you enter, you can watch it being cooked in these kind of open air kitchens. It's very, very cool. And the food is super good. There's a video on our channel of us going here in 2022. But yeah, super good. Newari food. So you get all of like the keema. So that's the chopped meat, the chopped anything, but it's meat. You get fried eggs. You get a lot of spice. You get this almost like a dry rub meat. Like, look at all this stuff. Oh man. So you get water buffalo and pork and chicken. It's all covered in this super spicy dry rub. You get really crazy alcohol. They just call it pani, which is water, but it's alcohol. And then you'll get other really unique dishes too. So where I'm from, we don't necessarily eat spinal cord of any animal or brains, but you can get that here. The last time we were in, the last time we were here, the video that's on our channel is me eating water buffalo brains, which I didn't really like, and I don't know if I would do again, but it's there if you want to try it. Highly recommended. I love Newari food, and this place really, they really did a good job, kind of bringing it, saving that the cultural part with the buildings and the how they have all this built up, and then it is really nice. It gets really atmospheric at night. Yeah, so if you're staying in Nepal or Kathmandu, you're probably going to be staying up here. Kirtipur is a little bit further south, so it's a little bit harder to get to, but in my opinion, it's worth it. It's some of the best Newari food that you can find in Kathmandu. Okay, moving on to areas that are also outside of Ring Road. I mentioned it before, but Boda is here, which is right next to the really nice Hyatt Regency Hotel that I mentioned. So this is the largest Buddhist stupa in the world, I think. Let me check that. Let me fact check that. Oh, no, it's not. That one's in Thailand. The largest stupa in the world is in Thailand. So, largest stupa in Nepal, maybe, is what I'm thinking of. So yeah, here are some pictures of it. This is mostly notable because of the way that the city around it is built up. So you have these buildings, so you can kind of see it here. So this stupa is huge, but you have these buildings that have been built in a circle around it. It's just a really cool visual thing, and within these houses, there are restaurants. So you can sit up here on a balcony and overlook the stupa and the other buildings, and it's just a very, very cool setting. I don't know if it's worth going all the way out here, because it is a bit far. Well, I mean, depending on where you're staying. It'll take a while to get from Thamel to Bauda. Probably like 30 minutes, something like that, 30 to 40 minutes. So it's up to you, but to see the biggest one in Nepal might be worth it. If you stay at the Regency, you can see it from your window, most likely. So, another reason to stay there. Okay. So, moving on. Oh, the last place outside of Ring Road that is pretty special is Bhaktapur. So Bhaktapur is down here, home to something that we're going to talk about. Oh, we can talk about it now. So Bhaktapur, Kathmandu, this is like the city of Kathmandu in here, and then Patan used to be 3 separate kingdoms of Nepal, and because of that, each one of them has an area called Durbar Square, and in each of these Durbar Squares you get really unique Nepal buildings like this, like these wood carvings, and you get the brick and the wood, and you get these combinations of all these different temple styles, like this and then this. I think they're all from different eras. So in these these Durbar Squares, they're super historic, and I think by far the best one is in Bhaktapur. So Bhaktapur, you get all of these like little lakes, or these like water wells. I don't know what they were originally used for, but then you get all of these really cool and interesting buildings. I think maybe the famous one, the most famous, possibly the most famous building in Nepal is this one, this pagoda, 5-tier pagoda. I just saw that note on Google. It was built in the 1700s, 1701. So this is a pretty famous building. It's huge, and it's all hand carved, all going all the way up. These pillars here, or the columns, these support structures, these buttresses, all hand carved. So really interesting stuff. The last time I checked, I think it was about $20 to enter into the Durbar Square. I think it's $20 across all of the Durbar Squares, from this one, the Patan one, and then Kathmandu Durbar Square. We'll get to those two when we get inside Ring Road. But I just wanted to mention Bhaktapur because this is a super cool city. If you have time, I would recommend going here. It is a ways. It's probably the farthest thing, with maybe the exception of Nagarkot. This is about as far away from the city as you get. Oh, that's kind of an itinerary that you can do too. So something that's possible to do is you can, if you're staying in Kathmandu, you can get a bus or whatever to Bhaktapur, and then out behind Bhaktapur, like in this area, there are all of these bus parks, or there's one really big bus park. I don't remember where it is, but that bus park, there are buses that go straight to Nagarkot. So you could potentially go from Kathmandu, check out Bhaktapur for a day, and then head up to Nagarkot after Bhaktapur. That's an itinerary. It's a possible itinerary. Bhaktapur. Okay, so we can move inside Ring Road now. If you're staying in Thamel, you have access to a lot of places. So I'll just say this. Thamel is... How do I put this? Thamel has tons of places for Western food. So if you're going to, say you're going on a trek, you're staying in Thamel. On the trek, you're going to be eating dal bhat like every day. And so by the end, you might be craving, when you get back from the trek, you might be craving something that isn't dal bhat. And that's where the restaurants in Thamel really come in handy. So maybe you want pizza, or maybe you want Japanese or Korean food. You can get those things in Thamel. So a couple of my favorite places to go, not for food, actually. First off, not for food, but Himalayan Java. I gotta give my homie a shout out. Himalayan Java. Himalayan Java is overall probably one of the best restaurants in Nepal. And I say that as somebody who lived there for a while, a couple years. If I was ever in need of good food, good service, good coffee, Wi-Fi, or I just needed somewhere to go that wasn't my home, Himalayan Java, great. There are no Starbucks in Nepal. This is the closest thing to a Starbucks. There are Himalayan Javas all over the country. It is essentially the Nepal Starbucks. I believe the guy who owns Himalayan Java is like French or something, and he married some Nepali woman, and then he started this Himalayan Java. The Himalayan Java, actually, that would kind of be a funny video. I should tier list the Himalayan Javas in Nepal. That would be kind of funny. It'd be a list that nobody would care about, but it would be pretty funny. As far as Himalayan Javas go in the country, though, this is like one of the most famous ones. This has to be the most famous Himalayan Java. Because it's the one that everybody gets dropped off in their taxi right here, basically right in front of, because taxis can't go past this intersection, or they can't. I guess they can go up here, but this street here is always lined with taxis. So everybody coming from the airport, you get dropped off here, and this is like the first thing you see, and so it's instinctual for Westerners to see this and then go up and grab something to eat. You need Wi-Fi. Yeah. Himalayan Java, S-tier restaurant in Nepal. Love it. Can't get enough of it. You know, when people go to Nepal, they want what's the word I'm looking for? They want local food, understandably. But if you've been living there for a long time, or if you've gotten back from a trek and you want something like that tastes like home, or you want something that tastes like home, or you want, whatever, Himalayan Java, S-tier restaurant. It has everything a Westerner could, or somebody coming from a Western country could want. That Starbucks vibe. And they're all over the place. This one is okay. In my opinion, the better one, though, is Mandala Street. This one right here. This is the better atmosphere. Okay, talking about Western restaurants, Or2K. Great restaurant. I love Or2K. This is like Middle Eastern food. I think it's vegan. I'm pretty sure. This is a vegan restaurant, and it is so good. I'm not even a vegan, but man, Or2K is so good. They have pizza and falafel and all this stuff. Really good restaurant. If you're looking for something a little bit different from Nepali food, if you're looking for decent vegan food, Or2K is great. And then you have other stuff like Fire and Ice Pizza. That's like if you're back from your trek, you want some pizza in Kathmandu. That's where to go. Fire and Ice is good. Roadhouse is also good. Roadhouse is here, and Roadhouse is also a chain. So you have one in Thamel and you have one in Bauda. So if you want to look at the stupa like we were talking about and you want to eat some pizza, there's one right here, Roadhouse Cafe. That's where it's at. Okay, outside of food stuff in Thamel, if you're staying in Thamel, you have the Narayanhiti Palace right here. So I've never been to this place. You see it whenever you're coming down Durbar Marg. This is where all of the, this is like, I don't know, the Times Square of Kathmandu. I don't really know how else to put it. It's where you can get KFC, you can get Pizza Hut if you're really looking for a taste of Western food. You can get that here. You can get, well, it doesn't matter. The Adidas store is here, Adidas, however you pronounce it. Durbar Marg. But then at the end of Durbar Marg, you have Narayanhiti Palace, which is where the royal family used to live. It's where the massacre happened in 2001, where the entire royal family or almost the entire royal family was wiped out. You can take tours of this palace. I think it's like $20, I want to say. Maybe. It's something like that. I've never been in here. I don't really know what the inside is like. I don't think you're allowed to take pictures inside, which is why we're not seeing any pictures from the inside. But if you want to look at some Nepal monarchical history, this is the place to go. Other fun stuff. Okay. This area within Thamel it's fun to walk around. Like we discussed, there's plenty of restaurants. There are tons of gift stores. I'm going to recommend one to you. It was where I would go whenever I needed souvenirs. I'm going to give them a shout out. Even though I checked yesterday and they are not listed in here. So I don't know how to... Or are they? Yes. Oh, they are. Okay. I was on Street View and they weren't coming up before. So, yeah, so here's like the area. I don't really know how to give directions. It all depends on where you're going. But we know the name of the restaurant. Amrita Craft. Great souvenir spot. Hold on. Let me I'll give a real shout out. Amrita Craft. I went there for every souvenir I ever needed to give somebody to get people back home stuff from Nepal. I would go to Amrita Craft. Amrita, who I believe is the owner, is awesome. Love her. And she would always give me deals on stuff. So shout out to Amrita and Amrita Craft. If you're going to Nepal, you want some cheap whatever wares to bring back to somebody, go to Amrita Craft. They have like, I think most of their clothes are made in-house or sourced ethically. So they have tons and tons of stuff. It's upstairs. You have to go up this little staircase. But Amrita Craft, great. The best gift store. Let me see if we can get a shot of the outside. Unfortunately, Nepal. Oh, there it is. Nepal does not have Street View, so we can't. So we can't see from the street. I can't show you directly where it is, but it's sort of kitty-cornered right at the end. There's a corner store, and then there's this little staircase to Amrita Craft upstairs. But we would buy everything here. I bought... it's upstairs. I bought one of the coolest picture frames I think I've ever bought here. It was great. But it's upstairs, and I don't really feel like getting it. Although I feel like... No. I was going to say, I feel like I probably should have something around here that that I bought there. But, yeah, jewelry, clothing, stuff like that. If you're going to Nepal, you're going to want... yeah, like, look at this. There's so much stuff. Can I walk around? Wow, nice. Oh, see? Okay, so I bought something like this. This isn't... It's not quite right. It's not quite what I bought. But it was this really nice Newari picture frame. But yeah, look at all this stuff. You can get so much stuff here. Tell them Goro sent you. They'll know what it means. Okay, so Amrita Craft, if you want souvenirs. Actually, something else I was going to mention. Maybe I'll mention it later. We're gonna stick around here. Okay, so Kathmandu Durbar Square. Kathmandu was one of the kingdoms, one of the three kingdoms from earlier that we were discussing. Kathmandu also has a Durbar Square. This one is, I think, in my opinion, I think this is the weakest of the three. Weakest as in, I think it's got the least interesting, out of Patan and Bhaktapur, I think this one is kind of lowest. It does have this really interesting kind of, I don't even know, European style building. I don't even know what this was for. And it is kind of cool. You can kind of see it here. There is an area. Let's see if we can see it on the satellite. So there is an area. Oh yeah, here. So if you come in off of Ring Road here, and this is New Road, and you go all the way to the end to the Durbar Square. The Durbar Square complex is big. And hey, look, there's a Himalayan Java here. This one is nice. This one's okay. It has nice big windows that look out onto the square. But, yeah. I'm just going to end up going through and ranking all of these Himalayan Javas. But this area is a big open square, and there are always people selling stuff. So you get these really cool shots of people, yeah, like this, like these vendors are all out here selling stuff. It's really cool. It is a really cool visual. The only thing I don't know what this is doing here. The only thing I don't really like about this Durbar Square is that there is always construction going on. All of these buildings always have scaffolding on them. There's always like bricks being ripped up, or like this, there's construction going on here. There's always, over here, these temples are always being worked on. And I think that was definitely a result of the 2014 earthquake. Yeah, like this. Like this is all I remember from Kathmandu Durbar Square, is just scaffolding, green visibility, blinders, and that's about all I remember. I never saw it complete like this. This is what I would see. But yeah, you can see like this square is being ripped up, and probably the bricks are being replaced. The Kathmandu Durbar Square is always, it seems like it's always like that. But yeah, so you have like these vendors selling stuff in this big open air area. It's very cool. Close to this is the Dharahara Tower. So this tower has been around, well, this one hasn't, but basically this tower has fallen down in every earthquake that's hit Kathmandu, and then they rebuild it. So I think this is like the third or fourth one. Is there more information about it? Yeah, old Dharahara remains. So, yeah, this was after the earthquake in 2014. Yeah, just terrible, horrible. There's people like trapped in it, and when it came down, there were people inside of it, and they died. And it's just like, it might be worth to see it. I don't think you could ever get me up there. Oh, except, wait, oh boy, I just remembered. I went to the top of this thing. Oh, that's right. Wow, I just unlocked a core memory. I have been up Dharahara Tower. I just said that you couldn't. I was in the old one. I went up the old one that fell down. But when I first got to Nepal, a friend took me up to the top. We went up to the top, and it was pretty wild. So you can see, you can actually lead where the staircase is, because the staircase follows these holes, as it did in the old one. And there's just like there's no control about or like as to what is going on in here, because you have people, it's like a narrow little staircase, and you have people going up and people coming down at the same time, and there's no order to anything. And then you get to the top. I think you can circle it like once and then you start coming down, but there's no like, yeah, there's no guide or anything to what you're supposed to do. Yeah, you couldn't catch me going up that again, but going to see it, yeah, sure, I would go see it again. Why not? You see it every time you go on Ring Road. It's right here. Okay. We have... Okay, I went over... Yeah, Thamel is for Western food, basically. There's... Oh, with one exception. So, I did say that if you want Western food after a trek, you should go to Thamel. There's one exception to this. I'm going to show you the best Indian food restaurant in Thamel. It is after the Himalayan Java. At this intersection, you go up, and it is Western Tandoori and Naan House. This place is so good. Man, this place is so good. Highly recommend this place, Western Tandoori and Naan House. It's super easy to get to, super cheap. I'm just seeing if we can find a menu. Very, very, like local. If you're looking for local food, this is it. Yeah, man. Oh, I love it. Look at the deterioration on that sign. That's how you know it's good. So good. Some of the best, I will say, some of the best Indian food restaurants I've ever been to have been in Kathmandu. Yeah, this is the good stuff. Yeah, that's how you know it's good. They're serving the, I think that's keema naan in a basket, in like a, in like a basket you carry vegetables in. You harvest vegetables in. Little plastic Tupperware. So good. Okay, so that's recommendation number one for like. That's one of those secret places. This is one of my secret spots. So I see we have one viewer in here. You're getting the secret spot. Let's see. We are going to, where's my notes? Incraft. Okay. Other places within Kathmandu, within Ring Road. Just west of Thamel, you have to cross this bridge, but you can go to Swayambu. Swayambu is super famous. It's if you've seen pictures of Kathmandu, this is probably something you've seen a picture of. It is a giant temple, or an assortment of temples with a big stupa at the top of a hill that overlooks Kathmandu. It's also called Monkey Temple because there are monkeys everywhere in here. Watch out, those monkeys bite. They bit a friend of mine. But this is just a really cool location, built right on top of the hill. You can see it. You can see this monument from most places within Kathmandu, because it's built so high up. You get these Tibetan style buildings. And, oh, yep, there's a monkey. I'm just trying to see if we can, there's like an overlook. There it is. Yeah, so you can see all of Kathmandu from Swayambu. It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. Okay, we already went over that. So just for convenience sake, I'm gonna help out people if you want to know where to get buses to certain areas. So, Kathmandu, like I said, if you're staying in Thamel, any of these hotels, any of the hotels in Thamel or Kathmandu are going to be able to help you get to where you need to go, or get you bus tickets or private jeeps or airplane tickets or whatever. If you're looking for something, if you're looking for the local experience and to do stuff really cheap, more specifically a local experience, I guess, the two bus parks that you're going to want to know about, or the two areas that you're going to want to know to get to be able to take a local bus to wherever you're going, whether that's Pokhara or if you're going east, like eastern Nepal, you're going to want to know Kalunki. I know it sounds like clunky. Kalunki is it's like the one major road out of Kathmandu to Pokhara. This intersection here is where all the buses to Pokhara leave. And so if you make your way, if you ask a taxi to take you to Kalunki, you'll be able to, they'll drop you off right here, and you can just hop on a bus or a microbus, pay 500 rupees or whatever, and they'll take you to Pokhara. So Kalunki is the first important intersection or choke or area that you're going to want to know for telling taxis. The second important intersection is Koteshwar. So here, this area, this whole line right here, it's part of Ring Road, is where all sorts of buses leave to go east out of Nepal. So you get people going, this is where you could get a bus to Bhaktapur, you can get stuff going all the way out here. Like if you're going east at all, if you're going to like Dharan or Itahari, or maybe you even want to pass over land into Sikkim, West Bengal, Darjeeling area, you would be leaving out of Koteshwar. I used to take a micro at least once a month. I would go out of Koteshwar all the way to eastern Nepal. So, Koteshwar and Kalunki are the two that you want to know about. Those are the two most important chokes to know about in Nepal, especially for bus stuff. There's another choke that you might want to know about, just especially if you're going to like Lamtang, is Balaju. So northwest, west, and east. Those are like the three leaving points. Balaju bus park. This will take you, we're going to this area. Balaju choke is where you're going to be going, leaving for Lamtang. Okay. Balgu, Kuleshwar, Kalimati. Oh, okay. All right. We're going to do a few more secret spots, and then we're going to go to my old stomping grounds, where I know best. The best place I know in Nepal. So, let me think. So we spoke about that Western Tandoori and Indian food place up in Thamel. Probably the best Indian restaurant in Thamel. If we come down to South Kathmandu, so now we're going to start exploring Lalitpur, which is where I was. It's where I know this place like the back of my hand. Before we get there, before we cross the river, we're going to go to Kulashore. So Kulashore has there is really nothing of note in Kulashore for tourists. There's really no reason you would ever come to Kulashore. There's not really much to do. The only thing I can think of, the only reason that you might come to Kulashore is if you had an injury and you needed to go to Vayodhya Hospital. But you would never be in this little section in here unless you're following this guide, because I'm about to drop one of the maybe the best cheap Indian food spots in Nepal. Here's the thing. I'm gonna throw out a hot take here. If you come to Nepal, if you go to Nepal, you're going to be eating dal bhat. If you're going to Nepal, you're usually going for a trek. And that means that on that trek, every single day, you're going to be eating... Hold on. Oh. Hold on. I gotta take this.
त्यो पाएपछि हामी धरान पुगेका थियौं। त्यो बेला हाम्रो बसाई करिब 5 दिनको भयो। धरान रन सँगसँगै हामीले फुर्सदको समय यहीँका सहयोगी मित्रजन र दाजुभाइसँग धरान शहर र यसको सेरोफेरो टहलिने मौका पायौं। आउनुस् हामी सँगै धरान शहर घुम्न।
धरानको एउटा एकदमै सिग्निफिकेन्ट कुरा के छ भन्दाखेरि यहाँ भएको देवी देवताको मन्दिरहरू चाहिँ निकै फेमस छ अनि त्यो मन्दिरहरूको लोकेसन पनि एकदम युनिक छ र हाम्रो फर्स्ट डेस्टिनेसन रहेको छ पिण्डेश्वर। हामी चाहिँ अहिले पिण्डेश्वर महादेवको मन्दिर आइपुग्यौँ। अमृत र अमृत राख्ने भाँडा, पिण्ड आकारको भाँडा चाहिँ यो ठाउँमा स्थापना गरेकोले गर्दाखेरि यो ठाउँको नाम चाहिँ पिण्डेश्वर महादेव भएको रे। अब यसको अझै कुराहरू चाहिँ हाम्रो बाबाजी अब यहाँको साथीभाइ उहाँहरूले बताउनुहुन्छ। मन्दिर दर्शन गरौँ।
सत्ययुगमा अन्तिम पटक समुद्र मन्थन हुँदा अमृत उत्पत्ति भएको थियो। त्यही अमृतको कारणले दानव र देवताहरूका बीचमा युद्धको अवस्था आयो। एउटा काग समुद्रको किनारमा पुग्यो। उसले त्यो जट्टामा बेरिएर रहेको अमृतको डल्लो भेट्यो र आफ्नो मुखको चुच्चोमा जट्टासहित च्यापेर ऊ आकाशमा उड्न थाल्यो। काग आकाशमा उड्दा उड्दै भगवान विष्णुले देख्नुभयो। भगवान विष्णुबाट गरुडलाई आदेश भयो, जाऊ खोसेर लिएर आऊ। अमृतको डल्लो मुखको चुच्चोमा च्यापेर काग आकाशमा आगे आगे अघि 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 गरुडले पछि 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 खेद्दै गर्दा अहिले पिण्डेश्वर महादेव विराजमान भएको आकाशमाथि त्यो काग आइपुग्यो। त्यो छछल्किएर अमृतको एक थोपा यहाँ झऱ्यो। अमृतको थोपा यहाँ झर्ने बित्तिकै भगवान उत्पत्ति हुनुभयो, बढ्न थाल्नुभयो दिनानुदिन। अब यसरी बढ्दै 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 गएपछि यसले संसार ढाक्छ, यो अनिष्ट हुन्छ भनेर भगवान ब्रह्मा विष्णु सहित अरू भगवानहरूले कोसिस गर्नुभयो, तर उहाँहरूसँग यसलाई सीमित आकारमा रोक्ने सामर्थ्य थिएन। अनि सबै देवताहरू कैलाशमा गएर यहाँको बारेमा महादेवलाई इतिवृत्तान्त बताएपछि महादेव यहाँ आउनुभयो अरे। एउटा रुद्राक्षको पोथ्रामा चराको रूपमा बसेर उहाँले हेर्नुभयो अरे। साँच्चै यो अमृत चाहिँ बढेको बढी बढेको बढी यसले संसार ढाक्छ, यसलाई रोक्नुपर्छ भनेपछि महादेव चाहिँ 2 दिन पछाडि यहाँ आएर बसिदिनु भयो अरे र यसलाई बढ्न बाटो रोकिदिनु भयो। पछि कागले अमृत खोस्यो, भगवान विष्णुको हातमा पुग्यो। अब भगवान विष्णुले त्यो अमृतलाई निचोड्नु होला, अमृत भाँडोमा झार्नु भयो। त्यो अमृत बसेको जुन वस्तु थियो पिण्ड आकारको बन्यो। अब यो कहाँ राख्ने त भनेर देवताहरूका बिचमा छलफल भयो। देवताहरूले पुण्य भूमि खोजी गर्न थाल्दा सबैभन्दा पुण्य भूमि देवताहरूको वासस्थान भएको भूमि धरानको यो विजयपुर भन्ने सानो बस्तीको यो ठाउँ, त्यसमा पनि अब अमृत नै यहाँ झरेर भगवान उत्पत्ति हुनुभएको हुँदा यो चाहिँ पुण्य भूमि ठहर गरेर अमृतको डल्लो जुन त्यो पिण्ड थियो त्यो पिण्ड पनि यहीँ ल्याएर अर्पण गरिदिनु भयो अरे। यसरी भगवान अमृतबाट उत्पत्ति हुनुभयो र भगवानको नाम अमृत पिण्ड पिण्डेश्वर महादेव रहन गयो। सदा सुखी मैले रमाइलो भयो त हो भाइ। त्यो चाहिँ यसो अरे नि त ढाडमा यसरी भगवानलाई ढोगेका बेलामा ढाडमा हान्नु चाहिँ साह्रै सबैभन्दा ठुलो आशा।
Okay.
जसले पनि हुन्छ।
We back. Let's see who we got. All right. All right, we're about to, that's right, I was about to give away my secret location, 2 of my secret locations. One now is in Balku. So, University Path, just, this is all south of kind of the more touristy area, Thamel. University Path, you're going to want to look for a place called, where is it? Lumbini Tandoori Bhojanalai and Restaurant. This is the good stuff. This is another Indian place, North Indian place. And the thing to understand is there's actually a few of these places around in Kulashore. This is it, Lumbini Tandoori Bhojanalai and Restaurant. And you know it's good. The way you know it's good is that the menus are not in English. So you have to know what you want before you go. So you have, this place is awesome. And here's the thing. Here's like the little history behind this place. So this is, Kulashore is sort of, I don't know what you would call it exactly. It's like, you get all of the people coming in from Kalunki, so like all of the trucks and transports, they all come through here, and the drivers end up staying like in this area. And so a lot of truck drivers in Nepal, they're coming from India, because Nepal will import stuff from especially North India. And so you get these drivers, they're coming up from North India, they're dropping their stuff off, and they're staying the night here. And somebody realized that these truck drivers need somewhere to eat. And they want somewhere to eat that reminds them of home. So, in light of that, these Indian food places started popping up, and they're made for these drivers, for them to get in, get out. You know, you need to eat something quickly, and that you're on the clock, right? So you need fast food that tastes like home, and that's why these bhojanalais, or restaurants, started popping up everywhere in this area. So right next door you have Lumbi. It's on, is what it says on Google. That should be Lumbini. And you know a place, first of all, you know a place in Nepal is an Indian restaurant is if it has Lumbini in the title. Lumbini is a It's a city in southern Nepal. It's where Buddha was born. Every Nepali will tell you that. So it's associated with India, or at least like that Indian border. And so if you see Lumbini in the title of a restaurant, it means it's, in Kathmandu, it means it's probably good, and it means it's Indian, most likely Indian food. So University Path, you want to go to Lumbini Tandoori Bhojanalayan restaurant. That's my first secret recommendation. I just remembered something else I was saying. So if you're in Nepal and you're going to, at some point in Nepal, if especially if you're going to Pokhara and you're not taking a flight, you're going to need to take a bus ride. And that's why I brought up Kalunki and Kotashore and whatever. And, oh, that's right, I was going to give a hot take. Here's my hot take. People say that the best dalbat you can get in Nepal is on a trek. I disagree. All right? Big hot take coming out. The best dalbat that you can get in Nepal is not while trekking. Because what happens when you're trekking is that everything tastes good. You have no energy. You have, you're tired and you're hungry. And when you're in that state, when you need calories, you will eat anything and everything tastes good. Now, this is not to say the dalbat while trekking is bad. It's not. It is very good, but it's not the best. If you want true good, if you truly want the best dalbat in Nepal, and we're dalbat, the traditional Nepali dish, if you want the best dalbat you can get in Nepal, it's going to be on the stops on these long bus rides. So for example, if you want to go to Pokhara, you would leave out of Kalunki and you would take a 7-hour bus ride to Pokhara, over here, way over here. Along this path, you're going to stop one time, and it's going to be probably around Mugling. It's this bridge, because this is like the tri-area. So you have the path to Kathmandu, this road, you have the path to Pokhara over here, and then you have the path to Chitwan. This is like the trifecta of this highway. And so you get a lot of people stopping around here. You're probably going to stop for food around here. This place, the food, the dalbat that you get at these stops is, in my opinion, the best dalbat you can get in Nepal. Outside of maybe you have some amma cooking for you, or you have some, a Nepali person, you're at their home or whatever. Even then, some people's dalbat is a little bit lacking. This has never, these bus stops, these halfway points, the consistency and the quality have always been incredible. So, if you're thinking to yourself, you're going on some bus ride, you got to go to Pokhara to do your Annapurna trek, you got to do, you got to leave out of Kotashore to go to, I don't know, you're doing the trek up to Everest, and you're going to start from, what's that place called? Dapa? What is it called? Somewhere up in here. You're going to start up in here, so you got to get the thing. You're going to stop for lunch somewhere in between here. Don't turn it down, because I know some people are going to be afraid to try the dalbat in between spots. It is so good. It is so good. It's the best dalbat that you can get in Nepal is on these long bus rides. So don't turn it down. Be brave. Get some dalbat. on a long bus ride. Okay. So that takes care of my... Because everybody's going to be like, I don't want to eat Western food. I don't want to eat Indian food. I want to eat Nepali food. It's like, okay, fine. Like, if you want momo or dal bhat, that's fine. You can get that anywhere in Nepal. And dal bhat is typically consistently good. Like, I have these places marked out. If you see all along Ring Road, you'll get these restaurants like, where is it? You'll get these places, Universal Cafe and Banquet, or UFC. I don't know who these guys are. Fantastic restaurant. All of these restaurants also consistently serve very, very good Nepali food. You can get momo, you can get, they're like kind of a chain. So there's Universal Feast Banquet or whatever it's called. You have Unity Food Cafe, UFC again. All of them are like these three name places, like Unity Food Cafe, Quality Food Cafe, Venus Food Cafe, I'm pretty sure is one of them as well. All of these places consistently serve good Nepali food. If you want chopsi, or this is chopsi, or no, this is a sizzler. This is chopsi. You want chopsi, you want momo, you want I don't know, dal bhat. I guess this is like a Newari thing that they do. If you're just looking for something quick and you want to try the Nepali food and you want it to be good, those places, they're super colorful, they're hard to miss. They were some of my favorite spots to go. Quality Foodland and Banquet, KFB. Yeah, all of these places. Dal bhat is especially good. So, we got the Quality Food Cafe out of the way. What else do we have? I guess we'll move into Lalitpur, my hometown, Patan. This area, my old stomping grounds. Okay, to begin, Patan Durbar Square is probably the best one. You can kind of see this orange outline here. All of these buildings, mostly, although as you get closer to Jawalakel and Labim Mall, it sort of peters off. But all of this area is like old Nepali, Newari buildings. You have that beautiful brick and wood combination. So all of the buildings, or most of them, have like a lot of personality. This is the Durbar Square. It's so cool. All of this is so cool. Big Durbar Square. They have a lot of exhibitions, like art exhibitions here. They have like all these little shops, and they've integrated it all pretty well together. You have, there's a Himalayan Java here too at Mongol Bazaar. This one is relatively new. It's very nice. Let's see. This road here is Mongol Bazaar. Huge market. This whole thing. Let me think. I mean, I don't really know what else to say. Patan Durbar Square really is the, I think it's the best Durbar Square. I don't know. It's actually, I think it's because it's so because it feels like it branches out into these areas. But then again, so does Bhaktapur. I said the same thing about Bhaktapur, that was the best one, and now I'm not actually sure. I'm not actually sure which one is better. They're both really awesome, though. Yeah, so you have this area, whatever. So this is probably, unfortunately, though, this Patan outside of Bhaktapur is probably the most inconvenient to reach if you're up here, especially when you have all of the options around Kathmandu. If you're staying in Thamel, you can literally walk to Durbar Square, whereas with the Patan one, you have to definitely get a bus or a taxi. Let me think. Trying to think if we can move on to. Anyway, I guess I'll leave this part off by saying the Patan Durbar Square. This whole area has just a ton of personality in the buildings and everything. Lots of good places to eat. Lots of really good Newari food, like Kirtipur. Actually, I don't think there's anything quite like Sasa Twa or anything like that over in Patan, but you have a lot of options when it comes to Newari food, because this used to be the center of the Newari kingdom in Nepal. So you have all of that history there. It has a lot of its own culture too. So this section in Patan is where you get a lot of people who still speak Newari, whose mother language, whose mother tongue is Newari. You have the names of some of these places. So Nathol is definitely Newari. You can tell because Newari language uses the colon a lot more than Nepali. The colon is part of the Nepali alphabet, but you see it a lot more in Newari words. Lots of temples, lots of water spouts. And then they've modernized a little bit, if you like that. So like Labim Mall is very new. It's probably, 5-6 years old. So you can get KFC. You can get Kentucky Fried Chicken there if you want. Yeah, there it is, KFC Pulchok. But my suggestion would be to get dropped off at Pulchok and then make your way slowly into the city by walking down either Joshi Marg or, I can't remember what road this is, Jawalakel, from Jawalakel. Yeah, that would be my suggestion for Patan. And you can just like walk in this area, and then when you're done, you can get a bus from Pulchok, which is here. You can tell it's Pulchok because of this big stupa that's right beside the road, this mound. And then you can get a bus back to Thamel or wherever you're staying. Within Patan, let me see here. Where's that other? Oh, okay. So here's another secret spot. We're gonna go another one of my secret food places. This one is also Indian. All of the best secret food places in Nepal are Indian restaurants, I'm telling you. So this one, another hole in the wall, literally a hole in the wall. We have Jawalakel Chowk here. So remember that. It's right there, Jawalakel Chowk. So Jawalakel, big bus station right here, kind of for micros and microbuses and things like that. Up this way is the way to Patan, the Durbar Square. Down here will take you to Ikantakuna Chowk and will spit you out at Ring Road eventually over here. So if you head south going towards this, the first road on your left, if you're facing Ring Road, if you're looking this way, actually, let me, how do I, okay, whatever. This place, and you see the name, it has lumbini in it. That's how you know it's good. So it's right next to this Green Apple fast food, which is not good. Do not go there. This place is awesome. It is so good. Again, you know it's good because the menu is not in English. I gotta recommend, if I had to recommend anything, you can get naan. I don't particularly go for naan, especially when there's roti. Naan is a little bit too rich for me, especially if I'm eating a curry. You're going to want, that's kana roti. You're going to want tandoori roti or butter roti. Tandoori roti, there's no butter on it. There's no extra stuff. It's all it is wheat and water, and they cook it in the tandoori oven. Tandoori roti, and you're gonna want, let's see, special sabji is good. Dal makhani. Ooh, dal makhani is so good. Chicken curry, probably okay. Mutton, omelet, egg. Let me see. Chow mein, papad. Probably butter paneer. Yeah. Oh, chicken butter masala. There it is. That's the good stuff. Another way you can tell, okay, so here's 2 tips that you can usually tell that an Indian restaurant is really good. First one, menu is not in English, so you know it's for locals. Second one, the tandoori oven is outside. It's on the street, which this one is. So you're walking by and it's just sitting right out there. That's how you know. It's another sign that you know that the restaurant is good. So, menu not in English. I mean, look at this place. Look, there's like, what, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. There's like seating for 20 people, maybe. Hole in the wall. Perfect. It's so good. We would go here a lot. Dainik Lumbini Tandoori Bhojanalai. I know it's very similar. That name is very, very similar to the other one. But remember, it's Dainik. Most people are probably not going to, your taxi driver is not going to know where this is. So if you go to Jawalakel Chowk, you ask for Jawalakel Chowk, it's going to be right down here. And that is my secret, one of my secret spots. We have another Himalayan Java, or no, it's not, it's Highland Beans. This place was also pretty good. It wasn't a Himalayan Java though. A few little extra things. This part of Patan, right before Ring Road, is a Tibetan refugee camp, I think. And so, as a result, you get a couple of cool things. There is a Tibetan, this is like a Tibetan school, I think. So you get Tibetan food that you can find down here. You also get Tibetan rugs. There are Tibetan rugs that you can, oh yeah, here. Carpets and rugs that you can buy if you're into rugs. There are Tibetan rugs here. Okay, moving on to probably one of the places that has the fondest memories in my heart. It's gotta be Sanepa. So, I don't know why. I'm not exactly sure why, but Sanepa is kind of a wealthier part of Kathmandu. It's sort of this area. And it's where you have a lot of embassy employees working, and it's where you have a lot of embassy employees' children going to school. So there are like really nice schools in here. And as a result of that, you have a lot of really nice restaurants and gift shops. So all of these places, it's more Western food. So we're talking, again, like we were in Thamel. It's mostly just, like there's a Himalayan Java in Sanepa. But there's also like a lot of stuff that you can't get other places. So there's Pho 99. That's a really good restaurant in Sanepa. Trying to think. A lot of this stuff is nice too, because if you go to Polchok, like we were talking about earlier, if you're going to Patan, a lot of this stuff is right across the road. So a staple is, one staple is Hermann Hellman's German bakery. This is a super famous bakery. And their stuff is okay. I'm not like a huge fan of the German bakeries in Nepal, but I guess if you're craving it, this is where I would go. You have stuff like El Mediterraneo or Korean food, stuff like that. There's another Himalayan Java. This one is also very new. And one of my favorites, Cafe Soma. This is up here with Himalayan Java for me. I think this is better than Himalayan Java. I think there are 2 locations for Cafe Soma. There's one in Sanepa, and then there's one in like Jamsikel, I think, which is more northeast Kathmandu. Great food, great coffee, reading areas, internet. Cafe Soma is awesome. I love Cafe Soma. I wish they sold shirts so that when I was there I could have bought a shirt, because I love this place. I love Cafe Soma. If you're looking for a place like to just kind of escape or do some work, if you're remotely working, Cafe Soma is the place to go. Same with Himalayan Java. Could be either one. Let's see. Other decent places in Sanepa. That might have been all I had for Sanepa. There's other like random spots. There's a really good Japanese place somewhere on this road, but I don't remember where. I remember. I was going to. There's one. So the gift shops in Kathmandu, I gave Amrita a shout out. Amrita Craft in Thamel. If you're looking for something that isn't I don't even know what the word is, because a lot of people when they go to Kathmandu, what they buy for gifts are little trinkets, carvings, little, like, I don't know, little Buddhas or something like that. You might get a Gorkha knife. That's kind of a cool gift or a cool thing to buy from Nepal. If you're looking for something a little bit more contemporary, Sanepa has really good gift shops. So one that comes to mind, like if you're looking for cool t-shirts, is Juju Wears. This place has some really cool t-shirt designs, and they're all local. They're all locally designed, which is cool. So like just kind of stuff like this, like illustrated stuff. Trying to think. I used to have a shirt from here. but they probably don't have it anymore. Yeah, it's kind of cool. I mean, it's all kind of quirky, like neat, like illustrate. Like this is kind of cute, like all these illustrated things. These make really good souvenirs. I think if you're looking for shirts, like this is kind of, yeah, like this is kind of cute. These hiking ones are kind of cool. Anyway, you just get illustrated T-shirts, and they're good gifts. I think that might be it. That might be the last of what I had for Kathmandu. I guess in conclusion, Kathmandu is sort of a... It's not the prettiest city in the world. It has a lot of character, though. And there are quite a few things to do around the city. But it mostly has to do with shopping, and if you really like temples, Nepal is where it's at. But yeah, I think that's about all I have for content today. Top of the stream, we're 2 hours in. Like the stream. If you haven't liked the stream, please like the stream. It really helps out the channel, and it costs nothing. So smash that like button. If you have any questions, I see we have a few viewers in here. So if you have any questions about what to do in Kathmandu, I'd be happy to answer. Except I think that I'm pretty sure all our viewers I know. I'm pretty sure one is my wife. Raj is here. And we have one other person. I would like to do something about, I would like to do a bit of a guide for Pokhara. I just don't know Pokhara very well. All I know about Pokhara is Lakeside. That's about it. Pokhara has some really good restaurants, Lakeside, but I just don't know enough about... I don't know enough about the about Pokhara to be able to give a comprehensive guide. But if anybody has any questions about traveling in Nepal or Kathmandu, actually Kathmandu or Nepal in general, I can talk about that. I was really thinking about going back to Makalu. Man, Makalu is such a... I really want to go back to Makalu, but that journey out there is rough. That is a long, long journey. We took from Kathmandu, we flew to, where is it? Pakribas, no, oh, here. We flew to Tumling Tar. Oh my goodness, it was so long. That flight from Kathmandu to Tumling Tar, and then these roads are so terrible. All the way up to, what is this place called again? The start of this. Where's the name? It's like a 3... Oh, Noom. Oh, it was so long. That journey was so long. And this road is terrible. It is so bad. And it was under construction. It was dusty. It's just a mess. I liked living in Kathmandu. It was really cool because I'm not a city boy. I was raised in the country. And then to go from country living, essentially living in the middle of the woods, essentially, to living in Kathmandu was really, really cool. It is dusty. I think I joked in a video from Nepal that we were wearing our masks, and that was like post-COVID, but we were wearing our masks because of the dust. It had nothing to do with COVID. We weren't even trying to be we weren't even necessarily trying to wear our mask because of COVID. We were wearing them because it was so dusty. And the reason it's so dusty is because Kathmandu, I mean, we can look at a topographical terrain. It's like all of this is flat, and then you have all of these hills around. And what happens is you have all this dust and stuff that's trapped inside the valley, and then it just all kicks up once cars and people start walking during the day. And it just, it chokes you out. It's terrible. All of it settles at night because everything shuts down at like 8 o'clock. That's something I should mention that people probably don't know about Nepal, is that everything shuts down at like 8 or 9 o'clock. With the exception, like if you're staying in Thamel, things will stay up for like till like 10 o'clock, and there might be a few shops or whatever that stay open later. But most everything closes at 10. And if you're outside of Kathmandu, things close at like 8 or 7. Things close super early in Nepal. And it's because everybody gets up so early. Like I said, there's a few places, like if you want to do karaoke, karaoke places are usually open till like 11 p.m. If you're looking to do karaoke in Thamel, that's a good time. There's a few karaoke places up in here. But, yeah, super dusty. Honestly, you probably want to bring a mask to Kathmandu anyway. Not for sickness, not for COVID, but for dust. Seriously. I was actually thinking about watching this Dharan video, but I don't know, Dharan is a cool city, but I just don't know. Dharan is a cool city. I don't know why anybody would ever go out there though. Like, is somebody who's coming to Nepal to visit really gonna go out to Dharan for what? I mean, there's nothing to see. I love Dharan. Hey, no shade thrown at Dharan, but like, why? I don't know why anybody would go out here. I was going to make a quick. I was going to actually make a quick video about the different national parks. I was just gonna do a talking head video about basically the 3 biggest national parks in Nepal that people go to. And in that video, I was going to mention Koshitapu Reserve because it's the only place in Nepal where you can see wild water buffalo. That's their claim to fame, is seeing wild water buffalo. There's water buffalo all over Nepal, but if you want to see the wild ones, you go to Koshitapu. And there's also there's a baby elephant in formaldehyde, I think you can see. But Koshitapu also has an elephant breeding thing. Yeah, you can see one of these. The reason they're so sought after, I guess, or people want to see them, is because of their horns. Because the domesticated water buffalo don't grow horns like that. The Arna. That's what the wild water buffalo are called. That's some guy riding an elephant. You can see these weird taxidermied animals. Like, this jaguar. Bro. Oof. Yikes. Oh, there it is. Oh, no, it's a baby, Arna. It's a baby water buffalo in, I think it's in a formaldehyde tank. There's a better picture of it on here. There's this guy again. Oh, there it is. Ooh, that's so yeah, that's kind of weird. You can see that if you go to Koshitapu Wildlife Reserve. Arna and Hati. But I guess back to the main point. Why would you go to Dharan? Famously, there was a run here recently, like a 10K or a 5K run recently in Dharan. And then there's also like Bedatar. Bedatar is pretty cool. You can usually see the Himalayas if it's clear enough. Those aren't the Himalayas. Bedatar was the only time I ever experienced snowfall in Nepal. It was in Bedatar. Oh, that's something I remember too. Speaking of news, there were big riots in Kathmandu recently. So for those of you traveling there, be careful. Because apparently there's been some civil unrest happening in the country. I read a little bit about it. It had to do with some guy getting arrested. And then there were riots in support of him, to release him. I don't know why he got arrested. I don't even know who the guy is. I just saw some guy got arrested and there were riots in support of letting him go. Oh, I guess if you wanted to see the biggest, I think this is the biggest bridge in Nepal. You can see the Koshi barrage, Koshi Bridge, Nepal. So if you wanted to go see that, you could go stay in Dharan after. Actually, this place is notable. This bridge is notable because this is one of the only places in Nepal. It might be the only place in Nepal where you can see the freshwater dolphins, is in this area. All right. Well, I think that's gonna about do it for me. Oh, Magus, watching from Kathmandu. Let's go. What are you Where's your trek? Where are you trekking? Did you get back from a trek, or are you going on one? Or maybe you live in Kathmandu. That's possible too. We got a Nepali viewer, possibly. Excellent. I I don't want anybody doxing themselves or saying what neighborhood in around what neighborhood in Kathmandu. Well, yeah, I don't want to ask that question. You don't have to answer that. I used to live in Ikantakuna though. That's why I am familiar with Patan and Lalitpur, Ikantakuna Choke. Let's go. कस्तो भयो ट्रेकिङ लमताङ रमाइलो भयो कि I gotta get my Nepali viewership up. I probably could. I should have done. Nice. I should have done the whole stream in Nepali. I don't know if I would have been able to do that. I don't know if I would have been able to pull that off. Outside Ring Road. Yeah. Nice. I think it's awesome. This is just my opinion. I think in the past couple years, more trekking has been opened up to Nepalis. Because for a long time, I felt like, especially like around Annapurna, because that whole area behind Annapurna opened up to trekking. Or there's like a whole road that goes back in behind Annapurna now. And I remember a friend of mine went on a trek recently, and they said that there were so many Nepalis doing this trek, and that it was really cool, because for the longest time, I mean, there were like Amas doing this trek, and you know, getting a jeep up to Manang and then climbing up to Tilicho, but which is probably not a good idea, just because of the change in elevation really quickly. But I know I gotta tap into my Nepali viewership more. I should have done the whole thing in Nepali. Sakte? Sayed? Tara alikati garahune tio. Miro, let me think. Miro मन पर्ने एकदम मन पर्ने रेस्टुरेन्ट चाहिँ यहाँ हो कुलेश्वर में हो. I feel like I'm embarrassing myself. Lumbini, where is it? Lumbini Tandoori Bhojanalay and Restaurant. एकदम मिठो छ. अनि जावलखेल चोकतिरको अर्के लुम्बिनी रेस्टुरेन्ट दैनिक लुम्बिनी थान्डोरी भोजनालय एकदम मिठो छ. All right, I'm out. Thanks for joining. I will see you in the next one. Be sure to like the stream, subscribe if you want, and yeah, I'll see you guys later. Subscribe, like, peace out. Oh, I guess I'll go to big screen. Bye. See you later. Like and subscribe.